Hello and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Today I am going to review something not quite necessarily whether you can buy it or not still, but more so what it's like and whether you should buy any future releases. So this is a 1993 15-year-old Adelphi Clynelish bourbon cask. So this was released 1593, it's 2008. So it's a long time ago, 12 years ago this was released. So it's been a long time. Cask 7536, 54.7%. Look, I'm a big fan of Adelphi, I'm a big fan of Clynelish, and put together you get like an awesome combination. And Clynelish Adelphi is not something that is very common that I see out there, because if it is, and I just buy it all the time, but it's not really something that just pops out, especially in our region anyway. So thank you very much, Greg, for providing the sample. And I believe when I told him about the sample, he actually doesn't even remember. I think he was too drunk when he gave me the sample, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know I gave you that sample. I regret that now." Well, too late, buddy. So let's get nosing. Got a crisp, clean smell. The birds are chirping. Green apple. And that traditional waxiness, that heavy waxiness that Clynelish has. Definitely the clear coconut vanilla. I'm getting a toasted sandalwood, a hint of unburnt tobacco, like a cigar in a humidor. But man, it's got a sweetness to it. Excellent, beautiful. A perfume like a little bit of rose water. Oh, and a very slight earthy, soily smell as well to it. Almost like just a waft of that outer layer of brie. Creamy, a little nutty, walnut. Simple sugar syrup. Oh, absolutely stunning nose. Absolutely stunning nose. Quintessential Clynelish, quintessential bourbon. Let's sniff the one with water. I'm using distilled water, by the way, just so you know. A chalkiness comes through a lot more. The waxiness is more pronounced with water. The sandalwood, the toasted sandalwood, does come in a lot more. A slight spice. I can't quite tell what it is. I think it's a slight, very, very slight nutmeggy spice. A slight rosemary is popping through. And minerality. Some minerality, wet stones. A little bit of that soiliness. But generally quite a crisp smell. Green apple dominates. Excellent, delicious. Let's get tasting, eh? Let's get tasting. Oh, wow. That's easy drinking. Now, I don't know how long the bottle's been open for. I don't think it's that long. Because I actually was there when it was open to begin with. So it was only a few months ago. I'm getting raw cacao, a slight bittersweet taste, more sweet than bitter, but slight bittersweet taste. Oh wow, it's a mouthful. The mouthful is great. The alcohol's mouthfeel is perfect. The waxiness is perfect. The finish is extremely long. I'm getting condensed apricot, like an apricot jam, but not as sweet as an apricot jam, but a condensed apricot, a stewed apricot. I'm getting that toasted wood. I'm getting vanilla. I'm getting coconut, but I'm getting that perfume from a humidor, like a Spanish cedar. I'm getting a slight peppermint. perfectly balanced, not overly too much spikes in flavor, but definitely not shy as well. Balance is awesome. I love it. And what I like about this particular one is that usually a lot of Clynelish, they are waxy, they've got an oily mouthfeel, but they are quite clean and crisp. This one has that characteristic, but they are in the finish. It has a slight dirtiness to it as well. That soiliness that I really, really love. Excellent. Let's try the sample with water. And like I said, this is not about, can I buy this again? If you can find it, hell, shit, go and buy it right now. But it's about trying it to tell you about the future. You know what? 54.7, yeah, 54.7. Water does not ruin it. It makes it a little bit easier drinking, but I think it loses a little bit of the character. Don't add water to it. But hey, it's always good to try it in both to see what's better. But no water is my preference, but with water it's still excellent. With water, it becomes a little bit more unintegrated. I'm getting a little bit more dirtiness to it. The sweetness comes through a little bit more, and I'm getting a slight sour note to it as well. Sour, like almost like a very diluted lemon. A slight lemony, citrusy taste. The apricot comes through a lot more. But unfortunately, with a little bit of water, I lose a little bit of that mouthfeel, that oiliness. That's because obviously it's been diluted, and you know, alcohol is the glue of all this stuff that's been put together. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say no water to this one, but it's still excellent with water. So if you don't like the higher ABV, then obviously the water is going to be good for you, but it is absolutely excellent. So if you're not aware, which I'm sure you will be because you've seen my other videos hopefully, if not, make sure you hit subscribe and ring that bell, because I have a lot more awesome stuff coming along. So Clynelish is actually a massive ingredient of Johnnie Walker blends and Diageo blends, and in my opinion it's a hell of a waste. They're starting to bottle it at Flora and Fauna range. They're bottling it at 14 years old, but a lot of the Clynelish you get are independently bottled. I heard from the grapevine that they're actually going to reserve a little bit more of that Clynelish and bottle it for Clynelish because it's gotten such a fan following, and they're going to use Delune as the alternative to phase in that similar flavor profile, and that could be quite interesting because they're relatively similar in their flavor profile. I think Clynelish is a little bit better, but they're actually very similar, and they can just obviously alter the way they make the dilunes to match that flavor and transition the blends and Johnnie Walkers into that, so people don't notice the big difference. So if you're buying Johnnie Walker Gold Label now and Johnnie Walkers, or Johnnie Walker Gold Label in particular, maybe hold a couple of bottles back, and in 10 years time it'll probably be mostly diluted and you can taste the difference. But when they transition to change, it's not going to be that noticeable. But I think it's a waste. Putting Clynelish in a blend is a waste. I think single malt, especially single barrel, is going to be the best use of Clynelish. That's my opinion. If you get an Adelphi Clynelish pop up, take it, especially if it's a bourbon cask. I'm not biased towards a bourbon cask, some people are, but I think that a lot of Clynelish expressions that get released in the IBs, independent bottles, are sherry influenced. But this is bourbon and it is absolutely excellent. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, make sure you eat, you smoke, you drink. Cheers.